Let's calculate the value of an annuity. And we're going to do this by hand. Now, first, what is an annuity? Well, it's a type of savings plan where you deposit money on regular intervals, saving for future time. So it's like you put $100 a month or $300 a month into this account, and it's an annuity, right? The big thing is you're saving for a future. So it's kind of like a retirement plan, but you have access to it whenever you want. Now, this is different from compound interest because with annuities, you continue to make deposits. It's like a regular thing. Every month I do this over and over. Whereas with compound interest, we're just playing with a single principal amount. Just a clear distinction. So the formula, A sub t equals D times the quantity, 1 plus R over N raised to the N times T power. All of that minus 1, all over the R over N power. Now, A sub t is the amount after T years. So sometimes you will see this just as A. It's the same thing. This T just tells us T years. It's kind of a way to just highlight how many years we're talking about. D is the monthly contribution. R is the annual percentage rate. N is the number of times per year that you're contributing. Generally, this is monthly, so therefore it would be 12. Okay, if it's anything other than monthly, it'll change, but if it's monthly, it's 12. And then T is our time in the number of years. Let's do an example. You invest in an annuity by making monthly deposits of $300 in an account that earns 4.5% annual interest. Your goal is to do this for 30 years. How much will you have in the account after 30 years, assuming you can stick to this plan? Okay, what do we know? Well, we're making monthly deposits of $300. So D, right, that's our contribution, 300. Our rate is 0.05. We're doing it monthly, so that will give us an N of 12. And we're doing it for 30 years, so T is 30. Okay, so thinking through our formula, A sub T equals D times 1 plus R over N raised to the N times T minus 1. Oops, I have an extra parentheses, please excuse me. Minus 1, all over R over N. Okay, let's plug in what we know. So, A sub 30, that just means A after 30 years. So after 30 years, we'll have 300 times 1 plus 0.045 over 12 raised to the 12 times 30 power minus 1 all over 0.045 divided by 12. Okay, now the answer, the amount after 30 years is $227,815.84. So hit pause. See if you can get that in your calculator. If you can't, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. Okay, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But here's the deal. If you want to type this into your calculator all at one time, okay, let's do that. We're going to start with a bracket or a parenthesis, serve the same purpose. 300, double parenthesis, 1 plus 0.045 divided by 12, and the first parenthesis. Then we need a caret. Your calculator might have a y to the x button. It's one of those 2. Mine is a caret. It means this next thing is an exponent. And I need 12 times 30 in parentheses because that's the entire exponent. Minus 1, end parentheses, end brackets. That right there, my friends, is just the numerator. Then I hit divide, more parentheses, 0.045 divided by 12, end parentheses, hit enter. So that's how you put it into your calculator if you're doing it all at one time. If you want to do order of operations, I can show you that too. Okay, so order of operations says, well, yeah, that's fine. So we've got 300 double parentheses 1 plus 0.045 over 12 raised to the 12 times 30 minus 1 over 0.045 divided by 12. You have to do the exponents first. 12 times 30 is 360. So that's my first step. 0.045 divided by 12 raised to the 360 power minus 1 all over 0.045 over 12. And sometimes I know that it seems like a lot for these steps, but they can be quite helpful. Now, inside the parentheses, I would do this first. And if you take 0.045 divided by 12, which is here twice, you get a nice answer. So 300 times 1 plus 0.00375 raised to the 360 minus 1 over 0.00375. Now, I'm going to do this inside right here. So I'm going to add these together. And when I do that, I just get 1.00375. So I'm just adding 1, right? But now I have to take this to the 360 power. So we're taking 1.00375 raised to the 360th power. So I now have 300 times 3.847. This goes on forever. And I'm going to subtract 1. And then I'm going to get 0.00375 in the denominator. I'm still inside here, so I'm going to subtract 1. So I get 300 times 2.847 goes on forever, all over 0.00375. I keep these decimal points because it's important to like not round unless you absolutely have to. Now I multiply my numerator, and I get 854.309. Again, we keep going, all over 0.00375. And then when I finally divide, that gives me my 227,815.84. Okay, and that's playing with an annuity. Now, yep, we're just going to leave it there. Thanks for playing and waiting this long and actually looking at things. If you made it this long in the video, you the best.